Today we're diving into a game-changing way to automate your work. Welcome to Convergence AI. So if you're drowning in repetitive tasks and feeling overwhelmed, you can stick around because I'm about to show you how you can turn chaos into clarity with tools and sets to revolutionize your workflow. Convergence AI is your personal AI assistant that is designed to learn and adapt and handle your daily tasks automatically. Imagine having an assistant that evolves with you, freeing up your time so you can do something and focus on things that really matter. So it can also do multiple things here, relevant jobs, finding trends on GitHub, many more other things, buying gift cards on Amazon. I made a video about Operator comparing it. You can see the video up top. That is priced at a $200 price point for the pro members. You can check that they do have a price plan over here for $20 a month, but for free, you can get 5 free sessions and up to 5 parallel sessions. If we remember with the Operator, you could do 3 sessions, but again, it's a $200 mark. Pro model is $20 as opposed to the $200 in ChatGPT, OpenAI's Operator that we had there. So it has also been backed by Salesforce and Shopify Ventures. Let's just break into it and go step by step and see how exactly Convergence AI works and is it any different from Operator. You would see there is a button known as Meet Proxy. So Proxy is the tool that is being used for this. So if you click over there on the top, it's going to be saying as Meet Proxy. The minute you do that, what you're going to do is you're going to click on Meet Proxy. It would take you to this pop-up and then you're going to go on, either you could make your sign up or you could just put an email. For this case, I'm going to just sign up with my Google because I already have that signed in. And then once you're in there, you're going to see, and I was already testing it out. So you can see I already have one test over there. The layout is pretty much similar to most LLMs and most kind of AIs of the day. So you have kind of a tray that pops in and pops out. And you have something that Meet Proxy, your assistant that does tasks for you on the web. Chat with Proxy to give you the work to do. Sensitive data disclaimer. So this is something that I've also mentioned here. So Proxy doesn't need to see your sensitive data and you can read that over there. And straight here, kind of like in the Operator also, you would see that they have some templates that we could actually, if you have no idea what you want it to do, it could give you separate templates that you can actually just go and work on. So in a nutshell, what is actually this whole convergence? These are what we would call as agentic AI. What is an agentic AI? Agentic AI is an agent-based AI models. Unlike ChatGPT, which is a large language model that works on data and parameters and data sets, this is working based off of screenshots, much like the Operator, which has the vision of 4.0 vision model. This one has its own model that it's using for screenshots, basically taking the screenshots and is analyzing what to do next and doing the scroll work for us. Now, for the purposes of this very first example, I'm going to do the daily news for me. The minute we click on that, immediately you will see you will produce a daily update for the topics of technology and economics workflow. So it already gives us kind of a workflow before it starts. So you can see it starts. And right over here is where I was talking about the screenshots. So you see kind of like a screenshots. As you can see, it already started a screenshot area. We are only being able to view what they're doing. As you can see, they pick a story from the front page, click the story and read it fully. Next, check the business section. Follow the same process. Final step, in a summary message, craft an overview of each story that captures their nuances. So you can see that now it has already started the chain of thought. So the chain of thought is navigate business section, complete the technology story, navigate technology section, starting. This is really nice. So when we said earlier on that it said 5 running sessions, so at this moment I have 1 completed task. So I'm going to delete this session, but you can see I have 1 current task. So I can run up to 5 tasks a day. So this is 1 task and we're going to try some other tasks as well. But you can already see that the chain of thought is working here. And then if you wanted to actually use the control or stop Proxy, you could pause Proxy here and then take in control. So if I wanted to do that, say for an example, I just wanted to disrupt something. So I'm going to pause Proxy. And then there are 2 options. I get to type on the chat box, or I can do something known as enter the browser, much like the handover that we had seen in the Operator as well. We can also use this as a scratch pad. You can write down your information. That is always helpful for proxy across sessions. So the scratchpad is used as something that you can use across the board. So say, for example, if you're doing a specific kind of a task set, you can use the scratchpad. And I really like this idea. And then what online task or research would you like Proxy to do for you? I would like Proxy to search for AI news. Instead of just looking for the news that was given initially by the template, I paused it and I asked it to search for AI news. Again, now Proxy is acting upon it, and now it will work based on what I have given it. So the chain of thought is very clear, and it's giving us exactly what we're going. So it's navigating technology section. Now it's starting a new section. Now it immediately went into Google and it's searching for AI news. All the while, if we go back again into the home, and if we are again now looking for something else here, now say for an example, find me an Airbnb for a 1-week trip in the summer for 2 people within a budget of 2,500 USD anywhere in the world with a nice scenic view. So this is a bit more specific, user specific. The previous one was a template, but you can see I just gave a specific thing here. Again, if you see on the top, they've also given a sensitive data disclaimer. So obviously do not give any passwords unless you want to use something, but also a disclaimer would be that if you're wanting to use applications like your mail, probably have another password just because this is still like sensitive data. So anyways, I'm going to have this click over there, and right from the get-go, you are going to see that I have 2 tasks, and we already see a check on the task that we had, which was the daily news. I'm going to click on that. While this happens, you can already see the chain of thought happening. It starts. It's giving me some news updates. So we can see some news updates over here. Google Calendar removes the Black History Month Pride and other cultural events. Google's decision to remove certain cultural events from its calendar is a broader approach strategic shift by feedback of the unsustainability of maintaining numerous global events. I could continue this task on top of it, but this is what it has done for me and it has ended it. What you could do is you could essentially automate this task. So what is automation? Automation allows you to schedule and run your completed agent tasks automatically. So if I, let's say, wanted it every single day, then I could do that. This powerful feature saves time by running your task on a recurring schedule. I'm actually going to do the next one with this automation. So you're going to actually see a step-by-step. Again, I have put out an email for this one that is specifically made for this, kind of like a burner email. So I would also recommend that you do that if you're ever using an email situation. I wouldn't recommend you using your own email for this purposes. So then if you go to next, choose your start time. So think of it like a ChatGPT task, but that it does on its own. So select, but it's kind of for this agentic tools. So select when you want your automation to begin. This will be the first time your task runs. You can pick any date or time that works best for you. Then they're talking about set the schedule. Set your preferred schedule from daily check-ins to specific weekdays. Your tasks can also run as frequently as you need, whether it's daily, weekly, or monthly. Now you can see here, the minute I had clicked on that automation, they gave us that pop-up, and then we have these names. So I can say daily news, daily AI news briefing. And this is actually a very big game changer if you think about it, because I feel like this would now be a really good contender as opposed to the operator even is already on a higher mark, given that you have to pay $200 and it's also only accessible currently only in the US. It doesn't have that much of a flexibility as opposed to this one. It's also much better in the Web Voyager benchmark. You can see it right over here compared to the operator. So even if we're talking just agentic, this is something that you could really look out and do and check it out just as of now. It's free, it's accessible from anywhere in the world. And let's say I wanted to start it from the 13th of February. Now the time of day would be, let's say, around 12:20. And then the time zone. So obviously, if you want to use a specific time zone, I'm going to say Eastern time zone. So then it says create automation. So for the purposes of this one, I'm creating an automation. So it's going to be daily AI news briefing, and it creates. Automation has been successfully created. Automation daily AI news briefings, American New York Times this has been saved under the automation. So if I click there, you can now see there is a dashboard which says daily automations scheduled for 13th of February. The thing is, you would be able to find that right over there. If you click on your name over there, you can see over here, you can see the automations is lining, and then you have my plan. Again, as I mentioned, there is a $20 plan, which is unlimited sessions using at any time, building up to 20 custom automations. Now for the basic plan, which is the one that I'm showing, has one custom automation and up to daily 5 daily sessions. So we're already doing 2 of them. I'm going to do a third. But before we get into that, let's look into why Airbnb has an exclamation there. So this is something a good indicator. If a task is done, you see a check mark. If tasks need attention, it has a kind of an exclamation. So let's jump into it. And then what we would see is that it's obviously loaded and it started doing its chain of thought: request user credentials, resolve the questions. I am unable to proceed with viewing the details and listings on Airbnb due to login prompt. Could you please provide the login credentials for Airbnb? Or let me know if there's another way you would like to proceed. Now, I don't want to actually be proceeding with the Airbnb part of it. So I'm going to say, can you view listings without logging in? So Proxy is again going to be trying to find another solution. Now, in the meantime, I'm going to go back. And as I mentioned to you earlier, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to be using the email, which is going to be the burner email. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to ask it to basically search for some jobs. Let's look if it can do for that. Okay. Now you're going to see here, I'm definitely sure they're going to ask us what the email is and how the so this is where I wanted to also show you how they're going to approach that. In the meantime, again, you can already see that Airbnb has given us the tick. So I'm going to go back to the Airbnb one and see what Airbnb has done for us. So again, we have a chain of command here, the chain of thought, the compiling list overviews, and then we can see resolve login prompt, review listings, and then you can already see over here. Now, this is where it's interesting. When you see that the task is completed, that is when you kind of get access to that side of the browser a little bit. You don't get a complete access, but you kind of get an access to a screenshot. So here's what it has done. Here are some of the listings for scenic views that fit within your budget for a weekly long stay in the UK. So it's given specifically for the UK. I would like for something in Asia. I'm making it a bit more broad. So let's see. And you can see they also give the budget and they also mention what are the specific things. And then I'm also going to add another thing. Sharing must be entire rental. So I'm also adding that. In the meantime, let's go back and you're going to see again, you see over here. So another thing that you're going to notice, we have 2 ongoing tasks and we have 1 completed task. The completed task has become an automation, which I just now made, as you saw. And the 2 tasks, one of them has a clock that shows that it is working. And the other one is obviously asking for our authentication, which I'm just now going to be providing. Could you please provide the name of your friend's email address if you have it? The message content, you can send any message. This will help me. So I'm going to send an email to myself. So I'm going to say email. In the meantime, let's look at what Airbnb is looking at. And then Airbnb is again doing another kind of a chain of thought. And you can see it's already going around Asia and checking at different locations and different price points all across Asia. Going back to this one, you can see over here, gathering information, please provide the message with the subject line. Thank you for providing your email. Could you please tell me the message content that you would like to include in the email and the subject line? Okay. Hey friend, how are you doing? Hope you feel better. You get the idea. It's just an arbitrary message that I'm sending it just to see how it would react to it. So I'm going to send this message and I guess Airbnb is now done with the task. So it's very nice that they just complete the task and they're done with it. So here they're saying that there's a potential Airbnb option in Asia with a scenic view and the criteria is match and you can see this is the place. Again, if you're feeling like we cannot move here, then even if the task is closed, you can always click on the enter browser. But anyways, let's go back to the Gmail. In the Gmail now, you're going to see it's asking for the email. So I'm going to be giving my email over here. So this is going to be the email that I'm going to be providing. So here, if I add my email, and finally, we are in my workspace. So you can see that we are inside and then I give submit. And then it says, I have taken control of your browser for the moment. Please take a look of the new browser state. And now it is again, Proxy is now acting upon it. And then Proxy is going to now compose the email. We should be able to see something there. And then I'm actually going to ask Proxy to do something else on this same specific session, given that we are already in there. So you can already see that Proxy is actually adding a message on the corner there. It's kind of surreal to think that we are in a time where we can actually let AI literally automate everything and we can just sit there. So you can actually think of use case scenarios, let's say in even 4 to 5 months, where complete messages could be written and even delivered by AI. So you could have custom messages, even cold emails sent completely delivered for a specific set cases without you having to have templates, because your agent will be able to do that. I think that idea in itself is just amazing. So you can already see that it's going through a chain of thought for composing. So every chain of thought is very different. It's not the same kind of a cookie cutter thing. So here you can see it's saying, "Hi, how are you? Hope you're doing well," as I had sent that email. Now it also has registered the email which I had sent. And I'm going to check my email if I have received it so we can actually see whether it has actually done the task or not. Actually, it has. So the mail just came in. And what I'm going to do now, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to cancel this. I'm going to actually continue the session. Reply to the email that my friend SG at s.pictures has sent to your email. And then I'm going to add it back and you should see it over there. The minute we send this, it should immediately again show up on the task side. And there you can see I already sent an email from my email, which it had, which is kind of very, very nice. Now, let's see if it can actually read that email and send an email all by itself without even me giving any kind of a prompt this time. Because the first email I had asked it to give, as you saw, now I just wrote a very generic email. So it's just like, "Nice to hear from you." And then let's see if it actually can reply something back without me having to write something. And then while that happens, we're going to see what other options we have over here. So you can see that we have the settings. So if you go in the settings, you have something known as store cookies or clear the cookies and emails from proxy. So what are the emails you can get? Very simple. So I have two ongoing tasks, as I mentioned earlier. And if I go over here, let's see what our Gmail is doing. That's actually kind of brilliant because it's already opened up the compose bar. So it knows that it has to send a message. So it's reading my reply and now it's going to decide what to write. Thank you so much for reaching out. It was wonderful to hear from you. I hope everything is going great on your end. Let's catch up soon. And there you go. It's written an email reply all by itself. I should have already gotten an email on my side. Let's see. Yep. I have already gotten an email from my side. So that is just wonderful. You can see now you can actually think about concepts where you can send out emails at a bulk and you don't even have to worry about you doing things. Obviously, you might need to initially just like tweak it out, but I want to do something else now. One last task I'm going to add here. What if we wanted to do like a job search? So do a job search. Let's see if it understands it and if we are able to still have the session running. This is literally a job of an intern or a secretary, which is essentially, and now it's already like in the search, it's doing Indeed job search and it's in accessing Indeed, starting a job search. I really like that the chain of thought for each of these are very, very different, very, very insightful. And then it's obviously asking for additional verifications. With that being said, this is basically what we can see the uptick of agentic AI models. And this one being on a free tier, I would definitely recommend you checking this out if you were not able to check out Operator from my previous video that I made about Operator. This one definitely is, as mentioned here, for busy professionals, researchers, developers, managers, for anybody even. Even if you're like looking for jobs or just sending out emails, this is something that you should absolutely check it out. And with that said, if you really do like this video, I would recommend you check out this video over here because YouTube thinks you might like this video. You can also check out this playlist over here. And you can also check this over there. And see you in the next one.